Four Swords Adventures. Out of the three Zelda GameCube titles, this is the game that got lost in the scuffle between The Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. It was released in 2004 and strangely it appeared to be the least successful title in terms of sales. Before it became its own game, the concept started as a special bundle in the Game Boy Advance port of A Link to the Past in 2002, and that was the first game in the series to be a multiplayer Zelda game. In the original version, you could only play with 2 or more players by linking Game Boy Advances together via the cable link system. It wasn't until much later that the game got re-released as a 25th Anniversary Edition in 2011, which is an enhanced port that allowed a 1-player mode controlling at least 2 links, and extra levels taken directly from A Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, and even from the classic Zelda. Now, going back to the GameCube game, what I find funny about it is that while Twilight Princess and The Wind Waker caused fans to go to war over what a Zelda title should be, Four Swords Adventures was at war with itself. The game looked like it had an identity crisis. It couldn't decide if it was a game for a home console or a portable console, if it was a 2D or a 3D game, or if it was a classic or modern Zelda title. It just ended up being a hybrid of everything. The gameplay of A Link to the Past, the characters from Ocarina of Time, the visuals from The Wind Waker, and an upgraded plot from the Game Boy Advance version of Four Swords. It was just all thrown in there. The story is your typical Zelda cliché about going through dungeons and rescuing the princess. The game overall is very linear and it's essentially a party game. Not the social gathering type like Mario Party, but a band of merry men type of party. Literally. It's more a game about teamwork. You do have to compete against your friends for points though, like in many multiplayer games. But at the same time, you need to work together with friends to solve puzzles and finish stages. However, one main drawback is that the game requires 2 or more Game Boy Advances and link cables in order to play in multiplayer, which ended up being a tad demanding for the game. One-player mode, however, can use the standard GameCube controller or the optional Game Boy Advance connection. An interesting thing about this game is that it is the only one of the 3 GameCube Zelda titles to not have a Wii U re-release, as of this video. Also, speaking of the Wii U, I noticed something about Four Swords Adventures in a recent playthrough. Considering that the game requires a Game Boy Advance link cable support for multiplayer, it had me thinking that the GameCube Game Boy Advance feature was a possible early predecessor for the DS and the Wii U, since they played around with the idea of dual screens. The only thing missing was the touchscreen. Remember when I said that I couldn't decide on being a 2D or a 3D title? Well, apparently the game was originally made with 3 different game options. Hyrule Adventure, which was the main quest, Shadow Battle as a multiplayer battle mode, and Navi's Trackers, which was a scavenger hunt about collecting stamps in a limited time. The third mode was the only one in 3D using the Wind Waker art style, but it never made it outside Japan. According to sources, Nintendo was debating on replacing Shadow Battle in the disc, or having Navi Trackers as a separate title. In the end, the third option was eventually ignored. Now, is it a bad game? Heck no. It's a Zelda game after all. Is it overlooked? Oh, definitely. It's worth checking out, especially for the classic Zelda fans. The game's downfall was the excessive use of the Game Boy Advance link cable gimmick. If it had the option to play multiplayer with standard GameCube controllers, it may have sold a lot better. I'll say this, at least the game is much more entertaining in comparison to Triforce Heroes, which just looks half-assed in my opinion. But what do I know? I haven't gotten around to play it yet. Maybe I'll change my mind. So if there's ever a possibility of having this game released on the Wii U, who knows? Spread the word. That's all for now. This was Hadouken Dude. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Take care.
Purple, say something stupid.
What?